Hi, Genevieve Jacobs from Region Media for this week's news update, and it's great news indeed. I'm in the National Botanic Gardens for the launch of the National Seed Bank designs with their ambassador. It's Costa Georgiadis, right here in the gardens, and Executive Director Dr. Judy West. Costa, you're the ambassador for this fantastic National Seed Bank project. Tell us why this one matters to you. What is it and why do you care?
Super excited. I mean, it's a real privilege to be asked to be an ambassador at any time. And for this one in particular, I mean, these gardens, did you know, Jen, like there's 70,000 Australian native plants growing here in the gardens from 4,000 different species. And that's an incredible collection. There's nowhere like it in the world. So the seed bank that operates out of here is doing amazing work to help protect our native plant species, and to be able to share that with people and get people excited about the role of plants in our lives, but more so in protecting them and conserving them for future generations. I mean, that's my happy place.
Yeah, and this place is an ark. It's just filled with beautiful, special and precious plants that are grown with extraordinary skill and care from all over Australia. And of course, our native flora is so precious on a global level, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing with flora is it often plays second fiddle to fauna. People will always talk about the animals, but the animals are only there because of the plants. The plants provide habitat, homes, kitchens, and of course, the plants are then pollinated by the animals. So it's this symbiotic relationship, and it's really nice in a role like this to be able to push forward the role that plants play.
Yeah. And of course, as many visitors to the Botanic Gardens know, there is a fair bit of fauna around as well, including the resident snakes and the water dragons. Judy West, we're here though to talk about the launch of the National Seed Bank redesigns. This is a really major project. Tell me about the significance of this plan that you've been working on for quite a while now.
Thanks, Genevieve. Yes, it's an enormous milestone for us. As you know, it was part of our master plan that we released in 2015. So this is one of the first major builds for the first phase of the 25-year master plan. It's built on a slight slope, so it's actually got an under space facility as well, but big laboratory, expansion really basically, and a volunteers room. Is going to be having a whole lot of new specialised equipment, including sort of things like cryo storage. So it means that we can be doing very different conservation options. At the moment, there's a lot of species that can't be stored and seed and spores that can't be stored from the normal traditional drying methods, and so we want to be able to store fern spores and things like a lot of the rainforest species that are fleshy fruited, which don't store for long periods of time, and also symbiotic fungi. So the orchids need fungi as part of their growing, and so we will be able to do research on some of those species as well.
And I guess that just points really importantly to the fact that the gardens have these dual roles. They're a beautiful place that everyone here in Canberra loves and cherishes. We've got all this diversity of plants here, but there's a very important scientific role for the gardens too, isn't there?
Absolutely, and it's the one thing that we've really increased in the last 10 years or so, and the seed bank plays a critical role in that.
And Judy, there is a way for the community to get involved. You've actually got an online auction. You're doing a little bit of fundraising that's connected with the seed bank plans.
Yes, thanks. So basically what we're doing is it's called Seed the Future, and we're launching that. It's already open, actually, the auction. And so what we're trying to do is raise some funding for specialised equipment and also for some research, different research aspects. We want to try and bring in another more PhD students, so top-ups for PhDs, so you get the best and the brightest. Also to Indigenous intern that will be able to link the traditional ecological knowledge with seed biology, and also to try and do an investment back into our volunteers who are so wonderful in the seed bank.
Costa, it's a wonderful project. I mean, I always say that gardening is good for the soul in a really deep way, and this project is such a great example of that.
Well, as Judy said, the gardens aren't just a display centre. They're not just a walk through, come and enjoy. The behind-the-scenes work is critical. And the good part about the seed bank and getting a whole new facility is that it will be more accessible for the public to see the work that's going on, and that way understand that we're actually in it together. And the auction is a chance for you to say, well, I feel like I'm doing something, because it's fine to say, oh, there's all these threats. There's the threat of fire, there's the threat of invasive species, there's land clearing, there's climate change, and it's all affecting our plants. And we've now got 1,300 plus by the day growing number of threatened species. yeah, what can I do? And here's a chance to just pitch in, but then learn about it and support it and make sure that the gardens everywhere, all of the gardens around the country get that backing and the support to keep doing this work into the future. And I mean, what a simple way to involve.
Yeah, so get involved. This is the most beloved place. We know that Canberrans and people much more widely love the Botanic Gardens, the National Botanic Gardens, very deeply. So it's a real clarion call to get involved as the Gardens launches this really important new project. Also making news on the site this week, we've got, of course, all the budget considerations. This is budget week. Not a bad one for Canberra this time around. Ian Bushnell's done some analysis on why that might be. We've also got the story of Access Recycling and their failure to get the recycling plant they wanted established at Fishwick. Post the ACT election, there was a lot of resistance from the community. The politicians got on board. So what is the future of that kind of industry and those projects here in the ACT? The landslide that has affected the Dewar Road down between Braidwood and Moruya continues to block the road and effectively isolate those people who live down in the beautiful Dewar Valley. And they say it's been close to a year now and the access is still blocked, really problematic for them. We've also got the great story of the huntsman spider that appears to be eating the deep space complex at Tidbinbilla. There's a huntsman spider across the lens out at Tidbinbilla as they're checking the cameras, and apparently this has caused enormous consternation at NASA, no less.
It's good for all you arachnophobes to just break down those fears.
Absolutely. It is a whopper. It's an absolute whopper. So go on to the Riot Act, join our great big Canberra conversation. We've got an email newsletter that pops into your inbox every day with the Daily Digest and into your inbox every week with the weekly newsletter.
Every day?
Every day.
Whoa.
Yes.
I didn't know it was every day.
Yeah. Oh, we are so on the local news. We are completely on the local news. So join in our great big Canberra conversation and get involved here at the Botanic Gardens. It's such a good project. I'm Genevieve Jacobs. This is Region Media.